And we're live. Welcome, everybody. This is Dave Espino and James Renuff at the Entrepreneur Dojo, and we're excited today to share with you how to crush the obstacles in your way to success. And, I think it's a really important topic. I did a live earlier for a different group, and in that live, people were just very encouraged and very excited to hear how to get unstuck. That was the title of that one. And I feel like this is a very similar title, is how to crush through your obstacles and get to success. Now, this reminds me of a very special evening. I had a chance to meet in a kind of a small closed door session with a gentleman who was doing about 5 million a year in income. This is a long time ago when I was in the financial services business. And he said, he goes, "Look, guys, I am no different than you. I am not smarter than you. I'm not, any better than you," he says. "The only thing I did, the secret to my success to getting to 5 million a year, was that I would see an obstacle in my way and I would figure out as quick as possible how to get through that obstacle, around the obstacle, under, over, whatever I had to do to get through that. And then I would go to the next obstacle and I would do the same thing." And he said, that was the key to my success. He goes, "I used to be the kid that sat in the back of the room and, just goofed off and all that." He goes, "But I figured out that the key to success was that." So I think that's a good way to just kind of start the discussion about crushing your obstacles, And obviously he was a proven success story. He's doing 5 million. I think now he's probably in the 10 million a year range. And the point is that when we stall out as an entrepreneur, it seems like that not only does it kill momentum, but it also feels like the worst feeling you could have if you're an entrepreneur, right? The best feeling we can have is momentum. Like, okay, we're doing things, we're getting things done. But we're all going to run across those scenarios, those situations where we just seem to stall out. And the longer you wait there, the longer you stay there, the worse it gets. The harder it gets to get up and push yourself and crush that obstacle. Have you had experiences like that in your career, James?
Yeah, all the time. And that's the thing. So much of this is mental. And like some people, like they don't want to think about the mentality of stuff. But when you bring up his example, and we go with the premise that we're all equal, that we can all do it. First of all, you have to understand that you can do it, because some people say, well, because I don't have this qualification, because I'm not an expert or whatever, they put themselves in a box that they can't do it for whatever reason. But with that being said, with whatever goal you're trying to attain, especially business wise, you have to expect that there's obstacles. You have to expect that there are challenges, because that's why you get paid. The way I look at it is that I'm a problem solver. I'm providing value. I am overcoming challenges that I put in front of me or that come to me. And that's how I succeed, because most people, when they have any kind of challenge, they just back up. And that's why people say, if a millionaire is sharing all their secrets, how come there's still only like a 1% success rate of people or whatever? And some people will say, well, because they're not taking action, so on. But a lot of times it's because they're not willing to get in the mud and get dirty and overcome these challenges.
That's right.
And that's what it's all about, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally. It's really about, we talked about this a little bit, the other day, talking about persistence and consistency and how important these things that might sound kind of boring to the average person, right? But to an entrepreneur, no, we understand it. We totally get it. And the ability to just charge forward and keep charging forward, and to really, what I think of it as, you're not going to be denied. You're not going to be denied your dreams. You're not going to be denied your goals. You're going to charge forward and you're going to go almost like a die, make it or die trying kind of an attitude. And that's actually the attitude that makes it, and people that are a little bit, of weaker heart or whatever, they're okay to like just stay at the 9 to 5 where somebody will pay you and, they'll take care of you and that kind of thing. But entrepreneurship is really not for the weak of heart. It's really for somebody who's got a champion heart, who's just beating. It's like, I want to be somebody. I want to do something. I want to be successful. And we all have our reasons why, we want to be successful. And some are selfish and some are selfless. But the bottom line is, if you've got that heart of a champion, then you're on track. You're already, 50% of the way there. You just need to charge through any obstacles. So let's talk about some quick tips on how we can do that. Do you have any ideas on that?
Yeah, well, the first thing is to understand that it's going to happen. There's going to be things that breaks, just like you've talked several times about cars and so on. If you drive a car long enough, we know that, well, you're probably going to need to replace the windshield wipers. You're probably going to have to change your oil. You're probably going to get a flat tire, those types of things. Well, how is that no different with business? I remember my wife, when she first started doing things online, she's like, I couldn't take it if anyone ever said anything negative to me online. And I'm like, if you're going to have any success online, I don't care what you're going to do. When we have these videos and we start getting crazy views on it, there's going to be someone that says downvote, or there's going to be someone that says, I don't like it, or whatever. If you're doing anything that
Yeah,
is of any kind of presence, you're going to have friction. However, you put up a product to sell, and the sales page isn't working, or whatever. Those things are going to happen. You have to understand they're going to happen, and then how do you react to it? And sometimes it's hard because you've invested so much of your time to not get, have emotion about it or not get frustrated. I mean, those things happen. But the one thing you don't want to do is say, oh, X happened to me, it stinks, and therefore I can't move
yeah,
forward. Like, for example, if I was doing an ads account and my ad account got taken down, some people would say, gosh, I'm not doing ads again because my ad get taken down. When you see some people that are players, like, I have ad accounts get taken down all the time because
exactly.
they're at another level. You always say, how does someone take it to another level? It's because they just know it's going to happen. It's just like if you owned a bar. It's like if you owned a bar and then one night a fight breaks out, you're like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have somebody got an altercation here. But if you owned a bar for long enough and were successful, you're like, there's fights here every night. That's why I have bouncers.
Exactly. That's a great example. And it reminds me of, I'm going to throw out another skateboarding story. Okay. I was talking to my friend Lance. Lance is a pro skater. Even today, he's about a year younger than me, or 2 years younger than me, but he was part of a very famous skateboard team back in the 80s called Powell Peralta, the Bones Brigade skateboard team. Same team that Tony Hawk was on. So
Oh,
if that
nice.
gives any perspective. Anyway, I was talking to him, and we had just finished skateboarding. We went to lunch, and I was telling him about this traumatic experience I had where I was trying to learn a new trick where it's a backside air where you fly out of the bowl and you turn backwards and then you come back in. And I hung up at the top and piled into the pool. So I fell like basically about 10 feet down, got knocked out. My glasses, because I used to wear glasses, hit right here, and I started bleeding. And I'm telling him this story about, like, I'm thinking I'm going to impress this guy, right? He says, "Oh yeah, I did that about 6 times." And that's the difference between a dabbler and a pro. A dabbler gets traumatized by an obstacle, and it lets them stop them from trying, because I didn't try it after that. And a pro keeps charging forward and keeps doing it and becomes a professional because he's willing to pay the price. He or she is willing to take the action, pay the price, get through those obstacles. And yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, you're going to cringe and cry, and it's going to be tough, man. But the rewards are so worth it. The rewards of living your life full out, the rewards of achieving your full potential are so worth it. And so I want to get into a little bit of tactical too about how you can overcome things. So I always like to say, if I don't know how to do something, I'll learn it. If I don't know how to do something and I can't learn it, I'll pay somebody to do it for me. If I can't learn how to do it or pay somebody to do it for me, I'll partner with somebody who can do it. And so always know that there are more options than you think there are available to you. And I was talking earlier about, like, online courses, for example. Sometimes you may be lacking in one area of internet marketing. To sell on the internet, all you need really is two or three things. You need a hungry market. You need to be able to drive that hungry market to an offer, and then you need to be able to deliver that product, right? It's real simple. What if you don't have a hungry market? A lot of people let let themselves get stuck right there. Well, I don't have a market. Well, I don't have an email list. Well, I don't have a Facebook group of 100,000 people. And they stop, right? It stops them, it stalls them out. Or some people don't have the ability to create a product. Maybe they think, I'm not an expert, so I can't create a course, right? Or another person might go, well, I don't know the mechanics or the tech of how to deliver a product, to the customer, right? Well, all three of those can be solved. You can partner with the person that's the expert and help them create the course. You can partner with the person who has the traffic or the audience and sell a course into their audience. You could hire somebody who does the tech and have them, put the course up on the right place and or create a funnel or whatever. So the thing is, are you going to let that stuff stop you, or are you going to figure out the right way to just get through it, take action, get it solved, and move forward, right? And so I think that's a little bit of the tactics, is always be thinking, okay, instead of thinking about what you can't do, be thinking about what you can do. If instead of thinking it's not possible, think of how is it possible. Instead of wondering like, will I ever make this? Be thinking, how can I make it happen? What can I do? How can I partner? How can I pay the right person to bring me the traffic and that kind of thing? And really, I think it really is a little mindset shift of, instead of I can't, how can I? Right?
Or some people even think, I'm already it. So I'm already what I'm trying to be, as opposed to I'm trying to get to this. No, you already are. So
Exactly.
like I've seen people do some crazy stuff, like where they're like, they didn't have anyone attend their webinar, so they did the webinar to nobody. It's just
Oh, I've done that.
okay.
I've done
No,
that.
that it's like, you're better the man than me. But I mean, it's like people do that because, like, I'm just going to do it. I'm here. I said I was going to be here at 8 o'clock. I do it, and of course you're practicing, you're getting better. But it's like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then the
Yep.
next time you had two people attend, and you just, like, what's that saying? It says something like, I don't know if it's Bruce Lee that said it, but he said, I don't fear the man that practiced 10,000 kicks one time. I fear the man that practiced one kick 10,000 times. And
Exactly.
so just becoming it. And that's like, if it's like any goal, if you see that goal. And I'm a big believer in that, and writing things down and setting goals. I really do believe there's magic to that, rather than just saying, oh, I want to make $1 million.
For sure.
Okay, that's nice. Everybody says that. But how you, like, work it backwards. Okay, you want to make $1 million. Okay, well, what do you need? Start thinking about it almost like an engineer, and figure out your pieces, and then break it down, compartmentalize it, and then say, okay, day one, I need to start this, and whatever, however. And there's so many ways you can do it. That's the thing, is that there's not always just one tactic. But it's recognizing where you want to go, envisioning it, seeing it, know that there's going to be some BS in between,
Yep.
and start figuring out those processes. And then you say, okay, it starts to get more tangible when you start to break it up into those little pieces.
And let me tell you something. One of the things that I've become very, very aware of as a coach for ClickFunnels is how critical it is to have a mentor, how important it is to have a coach. Now, whether you can afford a coach or not, you should have some kind of mentor. And that's the role we play here. That's what we're here for. Like, we're here to be your mentors and to guide you to success. Now, it may be virtual, it may not be one-on-one and that kind of thing, but we are here to help you with mindset, with tactics, with strategies, and that kind of thing. And one little thing before we finish off here, James, that you mentioned is, something you mentioned reminded me of one of my favorite movies, which is The Matrix. And that's kind of why I like the idea of the dojo, right? Because of that scene in The Matrix. But in that scene where Morpheus is battling with Neo, and Neo's just learned jujitsu, Morpheus says, "Don't think you are, know you are." And that's so important, that we believe in ourselves, that we believe that we can do it, and that we know that we're good enough. You are good enough. Let me tell you something. I've seen a lot of people be successful that are probably less than you. Okay. I've seen a lot of people be successful that are not that smart.
I think and this is kind of weird, but I think almost it's an advantage to not be smart, because sometimes if you're smart, whatever that is, right? We can debate what smart means, but
Right.
if you're a smart person, a lot of times you hold yourself back because you can pick, oh, all these weird things are going to happen. I got to get all these little ducks in a row. And all of a sudden it's a year later, where the dumb, quote unquote, dumb person is too stupid to realize that, they're going to, so they're just like, oh, I was told I could do it. So I started doing it, and all of a sudden you're like, how did this fool kick butt? Because they were
I've
too
seen that
dumb
so
to
many
fail.
times. I've seen that so many times. And you know what it is like the more educated, I think of it this way, the more educated you are, like the higher degree you have, a master's degree, PhD or whatever, the more you think and the less you tend to do. Now, that's not always true,
Right.
but the more that you have the potential to overthink things and not just charge forward kind of blindly. And we're actually saying charge forward blindly, because as you're charging forward in a direction, you'll correct course and you'll be like an airplane. An airplane is off course 90% of the time, but it always lands at its destination because it's got tracking and it's got feedback, and the pilots are detecting the feedback. They're getting coached, from the landing tower and all this stuff. It's the same way with success, is have a general direction you're going in, go after it, charge forward, don't overthink it. And the more you can course correct along the way and refine your approach, you're going to get there. And it doesn't really take a lot of thinking. I used to look at successful people like this gentleman I was talking about earlier. And I was thinking, man, they must be so smart. They must be so intelligent. They figured it out.
They have something special that you don't.
They got something special. But I thought it was smarts. I thought it was like they figured out this magic formula for success. Well, come to find out, the magic formula for success is charge forward, bust your butt, and refine along the way. That's the formula for success. It's not being smart. I mean, the guy, he admitted he had his high school diploma and he was barely lucky to get out alive with a high school diploma, right? But yet he's making 5 million. So that just tweaked my perspective on understanding that you don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to be a genius. You just have to have that action muscle and really define that action muscle, charge forward and refine yourself along the way, and you'll get there. So
I think yet again, Dave, you signed off beautifully and then left it to me to say something awkward. So
say so.
I think we should end on that note because you just wrapped it up perfectly again.
Good. Like, James, okay, say something.
Like I can never follow that. You say something really awesome, like that's awesome. Then you look at me and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna say what Dave said.
We'll work on that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Hope you had a great time with us, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. In the meantime, charge forward, man. Just take action and watch some of our videos if you need a little bit more inspiration. Like, we're here for you. This is our goals, to just serve this community, build the community, and really help you guys at a high level. So we look forward to seeing you doing that and seeing your success as well. We're really looking forward to your success stories. We thrive on your comments. We love to read those comments. So be sure to leave a comment. Just let us know you're there. Let us know that you're digging it or you're not digging it. Either way is fine. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're there, because right now sometimes it feels like we're talking to air, and that's totally okay, because guess what? We get it. We totally understand. It takes time to build a channel, just like it takes time to build a business, just like it takes time to build anything of worth. And that's what we're here for. So we look forward to seeing you guys again next week at the Entrepreneur Dojo. Have a good one. We'll see you.